What's up, guys? Hope you all are having a fantastic day today. Staying safe out there, but, I figured this would be a pretty fun video to make today. Just kind of mix it up a little bit, not talk about gaming necessarily, because in my previous video, I mentioned that I have, this really funny story of this woman at Walmart who, cussed me out for no reason whatsoever, and I figured this would just be a fun thing to do, to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, I mentioned that in a previous video, and a lot of you guys seemed really interested in it, so I figured, why not, dude? I mean, it's not every day you get cussed out by some woman at Walmart because you aren't wearing a mask and gloves inside, even though you don't have to whatsoever. And that's something I want to make clear because, a lot of countries out there, they're like, you have to wear a mask and gloves if you're going to go outside or whatever. In the US, you don't have to do that. There's no rules or anything like that saying that, it's advised, but no one does it. I've gone out almost every other day at this point for the past 3 weeks. Almost no one in the store is wearing masks. No one's wearing gloves. And at the same time, you can't even buy that shit anymore. That's beside the point. No one at Walmart except this one woman and maybe 2 other people were wearing masks and gloves. Not even the people at checkout are wearing them. So to me, this entire thing was absolutely ridiculous, and this woman was freaking out over literally nothing. So anyway, like I mentioned in previous videos, I've been going to Walmart a lot, dude. Every other day for probably the past 3 weeks, because it's one of the few places you can actually go inside and still kind of shop around and not just buy groceries or something. It's fun to go around, look at the electronics, maybe go find some stuff at the home office section, because I'm not gonna lie, dude, I'm bored. I just look forward to getting out of the house and buying random shit at this point. It's a really bad thing. It's probably not healthy whatsoever, but, sitting inside all day playing video games gets old very quickly. So I've been spending my time going to Walmart, and for the most part, my area is pretty calm. It's a rural college town. There's really not anyone here now that all the classes are online, but I have to pay my rent anyway, so I might as well live in my apartment. So anyway, it's not crazy. The grocery stores are fine. Everything's still in stock. You can even walk in and get toilet paper on most days at this point. So for the most part, people in my area are completely calm. No one is freaking out except this woman. I had never seen anyone actually freaking out. There's been no rushes on the grocery stores or anything. The shelves aren't completely empty or anything like that I've seen in some other places. So I'm kind of lucky for the most part, but at the same time, it kind of sheltered me from the reality. And that's why I found this entire thing so funny, because this is the one person I've seen actually freaking out about this shit. But anyway, it was a normal day. I was heading into Walmart about 2 or 3 days ago at this point, depending on when this video goes up, I'm not sure. But anyway, I was heading into Walmart. I grabbed my cart, started walking through, and I figured, I better pick out something to grab for dinner. So I went and grabbed some fried chicken. I got some donut holes too, some quality healthy foods. I think I grabbed a box of Hot Pockets too to have on hand. And I was like, shit, I might as well check, see if they have some toilet paper and paper towels so I can have some just in case I start to run out and then I don't have to worry about it. So I decided, what the hell, I'll go check out the aisle. And this is where the craziness does happen a little bit. People are always shoving you out of the way and stuff to get to the shelves. Nothing super insane, but the store for the most part this time of day was basically empty, dude. There was barely anyone in there. Like I said, no one's really freaking out. No one's wearing masks and fucking hazard suits and shit like that. But I decided to go to the paper towel aisle, see if they had something. I headed towards the toilet paper aisle, and the way it's set up is you have the tissues on one end and the paper plates on one end. So I was coming into the aisle from the paper plate side, and on the other end of the aisle by the tissues was this woman wearing this respirator mask or whatever. It was one of those masks, not just a mask, but it had 2 little respirators on the side. I'll try to find a picture of something similar on Google so you guys can know what I'm talking about. But then she was also wearing these massive yellow gloves that went all the way up past her elbow, the type of shit you would see somebody who does industrial spray painting or something like that. So this woman to me already caught my attention, but we're living in some strange times, so I'm not one to judge. I saw it, didn't pay much attention to it, and I just turned my eye to look at and see if they had toilet paper or paper towels, which they didn't have toilet paper at the time, but they did have paper towels. So I'm just walking over, pull up my cart right in front of the paper towels, grab 2 packs of them, stick them in my cart, and as I'm turning to put them into my cart, I noticed that she's kind of looking over at me, dude, and she has this little fucking evil squint, she's angry or something. And I'm thinking, oh shit, can you only grab 1 pack of paper towels or whatever? Is that what she's getting pissed off? But then I noticed this bitch's cart was full of fucking tissue boxes, completely full of tissues, dude. And that's not even an exaggeration. I wish I had my phone to take a picture or even record this entire thing, but I haven't been taking my phone inside because if you guys don't know, the single dirtiest thing in your entire life, Like, even worse than your toilet seat is your phone, because think about it. You pull your phone out everywhere after you touch everything. You put it back in your pocket. Yeah, you may wash your hands at some point, but then you take your phone out of your pocket and all those germs and shit are still there. So, I've been leaving my phone in the car because I figured, like, shit, that's probably better, and then I can just wipe my hands off when I get in the car. I can touch my phone, no problem. So that's what I've been doing. I didn't have my phone, so sadly I was not able to record this because Jesus Christ, dude, I would have fucking loved to record this bitch. But anyway, her entire cart was completely packed full of tissues. Like, no cap, bro. Which, my first thought was maybe she's buying them either because her husband or son is like a serial masturbator and they found out about Pornhub Premium free for a month, or, they could be balling them up and using them as toilet paper if they run out, which, that was kind of smart in my opinion. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe I should get some tissues too, just in case things get crazy. So, from this point, I decide, what the hell, even though she's kind of like giving me this look, I'm still gonna walk over and get the tissues. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was really awkward. Like, she was like low-key like trying to stare at me, but at the same time trying not look like she was, but she had like this fucking look of hatred. So anyway, I decide, what the fuck, I'll go and get some tissues. So I push my cart, I pass her, go to the very end of the aisle, they have some boxes of tissues. I grab one, and as I go to put it in my cart, she goes, by not wearing gloves and a mask, you just infected not only the paper towels, but also the tissues. And at this point, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I was trying not to laugh. Like, I know, like, people are gonna freak out and shit, but this to me was so funny. Like, I'm not infected. And on top of that, how many fucking people do you think walk through Walmart that, might have it, or who breathe, even in the store? It gets picked up in the vents and then dispersed everywhere because the virus lives on surfaces for like 9 days and can survive airborne for 3 hours. If these things aren't already infected, I would be genuinely surprised. But anyway, apparently by me not wearing gloves and a mask, I just infected not only the paper towels, but also the tissues, even though I didn't touch every single box. It wasn't like I was walking around, like, running my hand across everything. So, I just had to point that out to her. I basically explained the thing I just mentioned, like, how many people came through the store, how many people do you think have breathed or coughed in the general vicinity, and then it's, like, flowed through the air vents and shit like that. And she was not having it, dude. Like, she had this fucking look of just pure hate on her face at this point. She was probably, like, gritting her teeth underneath that mask, too. And that's when she just went fucking off, bro. Like, she was telling me that my generation is the reason why the country's on lockdown because we have no regard for the health or safety of others. All these damn college students would have been better off if they stayed at their fucking house instead of coming back to the area after spring break, or would have just stayed home during spring break and didn't try to travel. Like, all this bullshit, like typical shit you would hear from the news. This was someone you could tell who was watching way too much news recently, and she was just going fucking off, bro. She was telling me I'm the reason why people are dying. And at this point, dude, I was trying so hard not to laugh. Like, in all honesty, like, I know I like to piss people off, but I didn't know this bitch was gonna pull a gun on me or some shit. Like, this is kind of a rural area, guys. My state is an open carry state. You do not need a permit to carry around a fucking gun. So, I was kind of worried, like, holy shit, I don't know if I want to piss this bitch off anymore because, I'm in Walmart, bro. Doesn't really have the best reputation for having mentally stable people inside of it. So, I just let her go. She went on for like a solid fucking minute, basically saying that my generation was the plague upon this earth, like typical boomer shit. But anyway, after that ended, I just said, you have a good day. And she just fucking stared at me again. And that's when she just turned and started walking off. And like at that point, I just started fucking dying, bro. Like I swear to God, she probably heard it, but I was far enough away that I could have made a fucking bolt for it at that point. But dude, that entire thing was so funny. And like luckily no one was around either. Because like I mentioned, store was pretty empty. So I mean, it would have been awkward as fuck to just stand there and like have people watching me as this bitch is like laying it into me, just bitching me out for like a solid minute straight, even though I had never met her, never said a word to her, and literally just grabbed 2 things off the shelf and put them in my cart. Like this was so weird, dude. And I guess this is what it's like everywhere else, because people have told me like their area has gone completely crazy. They can barely go into the store without like getting shoved and pushed. You know, people are like swarming the shelves and everything. So I had never had to deal with it because like I said, my area, it's been really calm, really not a big deal whatsoever. Like we can go in and get everything still. Like it's not really a problem. The only thing is the toilet paper and paper towels are kind of hard to find, but you know, this was definitely an experience. And like I mentioned, no one else is really wearing gloves or a mask. It's not like I'm the only one in the store not wearing enjoying this shit. So I don't know if this bitch was just having a bad day. You know, I would hate to see her when she gets up to the checkout and finds out that the people at the cash register aren't even wearing gloves and a mask. You know, it's like, it's absolutely insane to me. But anyway, this entire thing was definitely an experience, and I figured this would be a pretty funny story. But at this point, I'm kind of like wondering, should I keep going to Walmart? Because, you know, it is nice to get out of the house and go do something. But at the same time, if people are acting like this constantly, I don't fucking know, bro. My safety may be a thing. But anyway, guys, you know, that is my story of getting basically verbally harassed by the typical Karen at Walmart. Like, this shit was wild, dude. You know, it's definitely something I've got to remember. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like on it. Also, if you have any great experiences like this at Walmart or anywhere in dealing with this whole virus situation, feel free to leave them in the comments. I would definitely love to read some of those, dude, because it's funny to me. But anyway, you know, the moral of the story is don't leave your fucking house, guys. You know, stay safe, stay inside. It's not worth getting bitched out by some woman at Walmart. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video today. As always, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the recent support as well. And I will catch you guys next time.